So I wanted to share a story. A man and a woman were having a picnic along the river outside of their village. As they were eating, they heard a baby crying and looked around for the source, saw a baby floating down the middle of the river. The woman waded out and caught the baby and passed it to the man, only to realize there was another baby coming. The man ran to the village to get help, and before long, there was an organized party who were forming a chain across the river to stop the ever-growing number of babies who were floating down the river. They saved a lot of children, but the number of babies was too many, and they could not save them all. Then a young girl walked away from her duties on the riverbank and marched upstream. People yelled at her, "Where are you going? We need your help." She replied, "I'm going to find who is throwing all these babies in the water, in the river, so we can stop them." The lesson is here. If we don't get to the root of the issue, all we're doing is pulling some individuals to safety while losing others to the river. We must work to help survivors heal, seek justice, and find the new normal in their lives. But that cannot be the only work that we do. So as we're listening to the survivors, understand and remember that this is not an easy thing to do. Each time I share my story, I travel back to a time when I realized that a person was capable and willing to take my life. They didn't want me here. They didn't want my equal voice. They didn't want me to be heard. And so rather than remaining silent, I decided it's time to share my story, where the alternative will be way worse than you could ever possibly imagine.
Như hai tia có nhữngตัวนี้น้องมีตัวเตียโตจีที่ดูแลสถานสนอเทียมีทอยเตียตัวเตียอยู่จีกูมีตัวโตมีถามได้แล้วยังโตเห็นที่โตตัวสีจีตัวนึงจีที่ตัวนึงเตียที่พิษน้องนี่ยอมน้องที่จะนึกแบบเลยอย่างเตียจะเลยได้แน่นอนก่อนนี่ที่ชื่อจีตัวน้องที่ตัวเขาถูกแล้วเตียนี่มาอย่างเตียเราลืมมาเนี่ยแต่ถ้าผมชายที่อยากให้ถอนชายเองเป็นที่หนึ่งก็เลยมาติดถอนเนี่ยมันชื่อเป็นเรื่องน้องนี่สามที่
So as Stu mentioned, I'm here because I needed a commitment, not only this year as Mrs. Minnesota, but throughout my lifetime, that I will share the tools that Love is Not Abuse has. And what Love is Not Abuse does is we talk to teens and we talk to parents early, so that by the time they choose a relationship, if they so choose, and by the time they're in their own homes, that they will know what a healthy relationship looks like and what an unhealthy relationship looks like, so that they can see the signs of what dating violence is, and that it doesn't escalate to domestic violence. 1 in 3 teens will experience dating violence in their relationship, and that's girls and boys. So it's very serious. And many of those same girls and boys will experience domestic violence. And we need to stop that from happening in the first place. Thank you so much for your time again. And I hope that you find it both, I hope that you find it in your hearts. That something here resonates with you. That something you hear here, you will share with somebody. That you will use your voices, and that will resonate at somebody else's, and it spreads like a domino effect, so that we can stop this from ever happening.